Agnes Whitmore had lived on Willow Lane for 42 years. Her little white house had flower boxes under the windows, a blue porch swing, and creaky floorboards that sang familiar songs under her feet. She knew every neighbor, every oak tree, and every crack in the sidewalk. But lately, things felt different. The town was changing. The bakery had become a yoga studio. The old post office was now a smoothie bar called Green Vibes. Even the new neighbors on Willow Lane barely waved. They had packages delivered by drones. And Agnes swore one of them had a robot vacuum that looked suspiciously judgmental. Most days, she was content with her crossword puzzles and a pot of chamomile tea. But sometimes, especially in the quiet afternoons, Agnes wondered if life had already given her all its surprises. That was before the arrival of Mr. Pennington. He moved into the vacant house across the street, which had been empty for nearly a year. Agnes noticed him the moment he arrived, mostly because he backed his moving van into her hedge. She stepped outside, arms folded. "You're flattening my marigolds," she said. A tall man with a gray beard and tortoiseshell glasses stepped out of the van. He squinted at her. Then the hedge. "Oh dear, I thought that was part of my lawn." Agnes raised an eyebrow. "Do you usually garden in the street?" He laughed, surprisingly gently. Point taken. He crossed the street with a sheepish smile and held out his hand. "Henry Pennington. Just retired. Moving here to escape my daughter's overcooked vegan casseroles." Agnes shook his hand. "Agnes Whitmore. Retired librarian. Been escaping tofu since 1998. They smiled at each other. And something unspoken passed between them, an understanding. Maybe. Or a mutual appreciation of sarcasm. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Henry settled in quickly. Unlike other newcomers, he made the effort to chat. He asked Agnes about garbage pickup schedules, the best local diner, Rita's Cafe, order the meatloaf, and whether the town always smelled faintly of cinnamon in the fall. They began having tea together once a week. It started innocently. He brought over a tin of shortbread cookies, and Agnes offered Earl Grey in return. Before long, Thursdays at 4 became a ritual. They talked about everything: books, gardening, the curious fashion trends of young people. Agnes told him about her late husband, Thomas, who had passed away 15 years ago, and how they used to dance in the kitchen on Saturday nights. Henry spoke of his travels. He had worked in publishing and spent years in cities like London, Paris, and Nairobi. "Now I'm here," he said once, sipping his tea. "Don't sound so disappointed," Agnes teased. "Oh, I'm not. I think I like it here more than I expected." And he meant it. Blank. Underscore. Blank. One Thursday afternoon, a rainstorm rolled in unexpectedly. Agnes invited Henry to stay for soup, and they sat by the window with bowls of steaming potato leek, listening to the rain tap the glass. "I miss doing things," Henry said suddenly. "Not just tasks. I mean, projects. Adventures." Agnes looked thoughtful. "Like what? Climbing Everest? Too cold." "I was thinking more. Community theater. Or starting a book club." Agnes set down her spoon. "A book club?" He nodded. "Why not? We could host it. Rotate houses. Choose books we actually enjoy." Agnes smiled slowly. "You know, I've always wanted to reread Anne of Green Gables without someone mocking me." "It's a classic," Henry said. "We'll make it the first book." They posted flyers at the library, the coffee shop, and even the town square bulletin board. A few neighbors expressed polite interest. A woman named Carol brought scones. A retired high school teacher named Mr. Jenkins brought his dog, who liked to sleep under the table. By the second meeting, they had 8 members. By the third, 12. Willow Lane hadn't seen so much life in years. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The book club became more than just books. People lingered after meetings. They brought photo albums, homemade pies, stories from their pasts. Henry brought a projector once and showed slides from his trip to Kenya. Agnes read a poem she wrote at 19 and had never shared. It was as if everyone had been waiting for permission to be interesting again. One evening, after a particularly lively discussion about To Kill a Mockingbird, Henry lingered as the others left. He looked at Agnes with a question in his eyes. "Would you like to go dancing with me?" Agnes blinked. "Dancing? There's a seniors swing night at the community hall. Live music. I've been meaning to go. I hear they serve punch." Agnes hesitated. It had been years since she'd danced. The idea made her nervous and curious. "All right," she said, "but if you drop me during a twirl, I'll pretend not to know you." Henry grinned. "Deal. Blank. Underscore. Blank." That Saturday, Agnes wore her favorite blue dress, the one she hadn't taken out in years. Henry showed up in a crisp shirt and a tie that had seen better decades. The hall was decorated with fairy lights and filled with laughter. A jazz band played old standards. And couples, some smooth, some clumsy, swayed and twirled across the floor. At first, they just watched. Then Henry offered his hand. "May I?" Agnes took a deep breath and nodded. They danced 3 songs. Then 5. He didn't drop her. "You're not so bad," she said, a little breathless. "You either," he replied. "You haven't stepped on my feet once." They laughed. And for a moment, Agnes felt 20 years younger. Afterward, they sat under the stars on a bench outside the hall. The night was cool and smelled like lilacs. "I never thought I'd be doing this again," Agnes said. "Me neither," Henry replied. "But I'm glad we did." She looked at him. "You think life gives us second chances?" He nodded. "If we're brave enough to take them." Blank. Underscore. Blank. Over the months, their friendship deepened. They went to art exhibits, visited the farmer's market, and even took a pottery class. Henry's bowl looked like a hat. Agnes's cup had 3 handles. They laughed often, argued occasionally, supported each other always. But Agnes still hesitated to call it anything more than friendship. One winter evening, while they sat by her fireplace with mugs of cider, Henry turned to her. "I've been thinking," he said. "Dangerous habit," she replied. He smiled. "I don't want to keep dancing around the truth." Agnes looked at him. "I care about you, Agnes, deeply. And I wonder if there's a chapter still to write, together." She didn't answer right away. Her heart beat a little faster. But not in fear. "I care about you too, Henry. I just never expected this part of the story." "Neither did I, but maybe that's what makes it good." She reached for his hand. "All right then, let's keep writing. Blank. Underscore. Blank." By the following spring, Agnes and Henry were officially a couple. They didn't announce it. They didn't have to. The neighbors could tell. They walked slower on Willow Lane, hand in hand. They hosted book club in matching aprons. They planted tulips in the shared garden and argued, lightly, about color choices. Life still had its quiet days. Rainy afternoons. Forgotten names. A stubborn ache in the knees. But it also had laughter. Discovery. And the comfort of knowing someone was always ready to brew tea or argue about literature. And that Agnes thought one morning as she watched Henry rake leaves under the oak tree. Was the best surprise of all. Blank. Underscore. Blank.